In a previous video, I spoke about the benefits of going to school, and one of the possible opportunities I mentioned that could come up is that of traveling abroad as a student. A big question that arises is, how do you afford it? So I want to elaborate on it more today with a specific focus on studying abroad, scholarships, and different ways to go about it. When people hear the word travel, they think, oh, a lot of money, it's expensive to travel, which is sometimes true. However, there are hacks out there to make it more affordable and without necessarily being a luxury tourist. So one convenient option if you're studying abroad via school is through applying for scholarships. There are foundations, organizations, and financing available specifically for students to be able to travel. I want to highlight one resource that has helped me personally. And what I want to talk about today is the Gilman Scholarship. I will also link the website in my video description. So if you go to their website to get the basic idea, that is, if you go to gilmanapplication.iiee.org or just Google Gilman Scholarship and it should come up on Google with little difficulty. Okay, so here's their mission statement, just in short, which seems to have recently been updated. The Gilman Scholarship Program, sponsored by the U.S. Department of State's Bureau of Educational and Cultural Affairs, is an undergraduate program for U.S. citizens of limited financial means to enable them to study abroad, thereby internationalizing their outlook and better preparing them to thrive in the global economy. Okay, so in a previous version of this, it also said that funding is available to undergraduate students that are Pell recipients, which is the grants that you receive when you file your FAFSA, financial aid. And if you are attending a 2-year community college or 4-year university, you are eligible, at least on a basic level. And of course, go to their website to see more specific details of eligibility. But this is pretty much for undergraduate students to study or to intern abroad. They will give you up to $5,000. That is the maximum amount possible. If you're on any program with a minimum of 2 weeks of study, or interning, just a duration of at least 2 weeks and up to a semester or maybe 2. Oh, and actually there is an additional, I think, $3,000 if you are studying a critical language, and they have a specific list of languages that qualify as critical languages, and you should look that up on their website as well. So if you're studying a critical language abroad during your program, then they will give you additional funds, but the average is a couple of $1,000s. That is a very generous amount, especially if you're just doing a summer program. So I went to Ghana, West Africa this past summer in the month of July 2018. It was a 3.5-week program that I would probably not have been able to afford if not for receiving the Gilman Scholarship. I didn't receive the maximum amount, but I received a very generous amount, and that covered pretty much most of my trip. It covered the flight, which was very expensive because flights in the summer in general are very expensive, especially if you don't book months in advance. And it also covered a big chunk of my tuition, like the general program cost. So let's discuss what your chances are of receiving it. So according to what they've told me, approximately a quarter of applicants end up receiving the scholarship. So it's pretty competitive, but if you have a compelling personal statement and good grades and you qualify in different ways, then your chance could be pretty high. And here I'll go into some more tips as to how you can improve your chances. So obviously I'm not privy to inside information, and I can't tell you what will make them decide ultimately like who will be a recipient of the scholarship, and I don't know exactly why they chose me either. But from the research I've done before and from my own application and from listening to other information videos and reading other blogs. I could give you a summary of some reasonable